This is the reason why I failed my e-commerce journey. My e-commerce journey hasn't been very pretty. I started dropshipping around 6 months ago, and back then I was a beginner. I had a lot to learn. And if you watch my journey, you know that there have been a lot of hardships. And about 2 months ago, I stopped recording my journey. And that's because I ran out of money. I had no capital anymore, and that meant I couldn't continue testing. Because what I was doing was running paid ads to attract customers to my store. And when there's no money, you can't run ads and you can't get customers to your store. So after that, I got kind of into a rut. I completely stopped because there was nothing for me left to do. In that time, I just started to look for other things, basically. But I was basically just procrastinating. And looking back on it now, I made a lot of mistakes. And I think the biggest one is definitely that I was really stubborn. People tried to give me advice, but I was just very stubborn. I didn't want to change up my tactics, didn't want to change up what I did because I thought I knew it all, which eventually just worked against me. I had a lot of trouble with Meta and Facebook. As you know, if you've watched my previous videos, I had my ad account banned a lot. I had so many problems with Facebook, with Meta, and I just couldn't reach support. And eventually I had to get an HT ad account, which was really expensive for me at the time. Yeah, it was basically around $300 per month, which I split up with another guy doing e-com. It was still very expensive, and he eventually opted out. That's Matti Ecom, you can search him up, but he eventually opted out and tried TikTok. He had a winner on TikTok, and he eventually recommended me to also go to TikTok. I just said to him, yeah, but TikTok audience is a little bit worse. TikTok audience isn't as good as a Meta audience. And I just made all these excuses basically because I didn't want to change my tactics, you know? And I think this really backfired on me, especially not stepping over to TikTok, because basically with TikTok, the TikTok audience is just worse. The quality of customers you get from TikTok is just basically of worse quality than of Meta. So when you have the same amount of customers, you can expect more conversions from the Meta audience. The thing is, with TikTok, it's cheaper to get an audience basically. With the same amount of money, you can have almost twice or 3 times the amount of customers that you get if you'd only run Meta ads. And I think that's very important because not only do you get more traffic for cheaper, it's also with TikTok, ads validate very fast. You will know if you have a good product or a good ad within like the first day, definitely. You'll know in the first day. But with Meta, it's like you need to let your ads run basically. You can kill your ads early, but you'll always have that afterthought of like, if I tested this differently, if I let the ad run, if I didn't kill the ad, if this, if that, if that. And with TikTok, if your product doesn't work, it just doesn't work. You will know if a product was worth it or not if you run it on TikTok, which all around will make the costs cheaper. And that's just the truth, you know? Especially if you're a beginner and you start on Meta, your ads probably won't be of the best quality. And if it's also expensive to run those ads, you're basically like giving Meta money for them to run your shit ads, which probably won't get you a lot of customers. Versus TikTok, where you can get away with ads of lesser quality and you'll know very fast if the ad works or if the product is a winner or not. And I would have lost way less money, or I wouldn't have lost money as fast as I did, because in combination with the HT ad account, it was just very expensive, which yeah, I would have done differently. I should have just had this open mind, you know. It's always better to be open-minded than be close-minded. Even when somebody says some bullshit, at least consider what they say before you just immediately reject the idea. And yeah, this was something I realized after reflecting back on that period. So that's something that I could have done differently. So yeah, that was basically my biggest mistake, just being stubborn and not using TikTok as my main platform. I think those two in combination are my biggest mistakes because I did not have a lot of capital. So do I regret starting a dropshipping business? No. No, I don't regret it at all. I have a lot of interest in sales and e-commerce, in just business in general. It's basically just supply and demand, and I've always had interest in that, so I definitely do not regret it. One thing I think that's very important for me to do is just keep learning about it. The most important thing in dropshipping, sales. Being able to sell, being able to write a good copy, being able to create good ads, which I will be focusing most of my attention to going forward, because the plan now basically is I have to get a job because I basically have no money to continue, so I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna start working, and when I have a good amount of money I will continue dropshipping. But in the meantime I'll be making more tutorial based videos, because I have learned a lot in these last few months, which I think can provide you a lot of value if you're going to start your own e-commerce journey. And I'm very, very confident that when I'm going to start dropshipping again, I'll find a winner very, very soon, because I've learned a lot. I won't make the same mistakes twice. So when I do find that winner, I will tell you guys every single step I did to find that winner and how you guys can find one as well. But actions speak way louder than words. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. And don't forget, stay strong.